What's going on, everybody? This is Marcus, and I'm here with my lovely wife,
Shira.
and as you can see, we have a couple of very special guests, friends of the podcast, as I like to
Yes,
say.
yes.
They've been on before, Daryl and Tambra, and they have been doing some really great things in real estate. And, you know, a large percentage of real estate investors in the United States are what's called mom and pop investors, right?
Yes.
Investors that look just like us on the screen here. And so we really want to uh, find out what moves they are making, especially in a difficult time like this. So we're excited to have you both back on. How are you all doing today?
We are well.
Doing well. Thank you for
And
asking.
thank you guys so
Absolutely.
much for welcoming us back to this podcast. So exciting stuff has been going on.
Oh, that's great. We want to hear all about it. Like I
Okay.
said, for those of you who don't know, we met. Man, what year was it? 2019.
It was before COVID.
Yeah, it was before
Yes.
COVID.
Yeah.
We did a meetup, and they came and we met them, and we been
Mhm.
connected, and following them ever since. So excited to have
Mhm.
you both back. So let us know what has been going on since the last time you were on the show. Kind of let us know, what things have changed.
Okay.
with you.
Okay. You want to
Yeah,
start
well-
or
Well, we've been growing some things. We've been making a few moves here and trying to just take advantage of the climate that was going on post COVID.
right?
And so we were prepared, and we've acquired a few more properties to our portfolio.
Yes. Yes. And those properties, we decided to take a leap, and we went out of state. And we had been looking for quite some time in our home city, and it was just getting out of reach. But what we did, we had already pulled money out of equity, and we're like, this money is sitting here. We're not finding anything, and we have to circle back to some of those desires we had, but we just hadn't dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. But we were like, this money is sitting here. We have to make a move. So we ended up buying two properties in Alabama. And one property, we decided to buy it cash buy. And we have a tenant in there already, a long-term tenant.
That's good.
And there was another opportunity, and we seized that opportunity, and we financed the property within a month or two.
Yeah, right.
And we decided we've been entertaining short-term rental space, and we thought, well, since the mortgage is low, this is the opportunity to try that model.
Nice.
So as such, we went down there with the family, boots on the ground, ordered things. We arrived. We were able to set that unit up over, was it 3 days?
About 3 days.
About 3 days. And we were truly blessed within a short time. We ended up putting the property on the on platforms, several platforms, and we were able to rent that unit out the same month that we had got it up and going. So truly excited about that. And we currently have a travel nurse in the property right now. So it's different for us, but we're very excited that we've already gotten income from that property in a short period of time.
Yeah, we're off and running. It's going good
Mhm.
so far.
Yeah, and I love that. We really gonna want to dig on the change and pivot in strategy as far as leasing. We really want to get into that, and I might have got a little bit ahead, but can you tell us like what was your start in real estate? I know we touched on that last time, but for maybe new listeners, what was the beginning part of you kind of starting your portfolio prior to your changes this year? How did it all start?
Well, it started me and Tambra, all of a sudden we found ourselves expecting our first child. This was in 97. And so I was already kind of thinking about, what I was going to do on my next move. And then, I had circled around a couple friends and this, like I said, this was in '97, and they were buying. They were like, "Hey, let's buy homes."
Mhm.
And I was like, "Oh, this is new to me. This is not something that I've learned
Right.
that I can afford a house."
Mhm.
And I'm a veteran, so at the time I was still in the military,
Mhm.
and so I took the leap, bought a home. So that was our first home in '97.
Mhm.
We were expecting our first child. And at the time, we both lived in apartments.
Right.
And so I was like, it's time to buy a house.
Yeah.
And I jumped out, did it.
Mhm.
Tambra was on board. We moved together, and we had our child in our first home.
Yeah. So we did things different. We were dating.
Yeah.
We were in a dating season, and we were in a long-term relationship, and Daryl was ahead of the game and decided, you know what, I see folks, I've been exposed to some folks doing this thing, and I'm ready, even though I haven't seen this in my family. He was the first person in your family to buy a home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he had not seen that. So he's like, well, can I do this? And he took that leap and bought that first home in '97. That home is still, we leveraged that home to buy our Alabama homes.
Wonderful. Right.
And other homes in between.
And other homes in between. So it started with us not even knowing we were going to end up where we are, and we're very grateful for it. But we just knew as our family grew, we weren't anxious to sell a property. We were like, let's look at some avenues on how can we keep this property. Right. And at the time, they were offering adjustable loans or something like that. But thank goodness it helped us. Yeah. But it started just as simple as, let's try and do this thing. Our family is growing. We're going to move up. We're going to keep the properties as we move up. And once we did that once, we did it again. And the home that we're in now is clearly our primary, but it all started with the first homes, the other two. And then we're taking a leap. And as we know, pandemic, interest rates went down. Right. Yes. And we were like, it's time to leap. We bought this house in June of 2020. So when there was a lot of unknowns going on. Yeah. And it ended up working out for us. So that's how I got started.
That's great. And I think it's interesting, like you said, a lot of people were worried during the pandemic to buy, and so, but it's in times like that when you'll see them lower the interest rate really to entice folks to buy. And me and Shira are lucky enough to grab 3 during the worst part, or the worst part of the pandemic. Yeah. Right. And so we know that things are changing now. Interest rates are changing. I chronicle it a lot here on the podcast, and how it's a lot tougher for people to mortgage homes at a time like this and to get into investing. But you guys mentioned something, so I really want to go back to it. Your pivot into the long-term leasing. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What went into you deciding to do that? How's it been going? I know you touched on a little bit. And then how could folks do that if they wanted to maybe try that as well?
It is very simple, right? You do your homework, you analyze the market, and our goal was I'm in healthcare, so I've always been around healthcare professionals. Rather, it's an IT professional like and I'm traveling. There's nurses that are traveling. And we decided when we bought the property, we were looking specifically, what is the proximity of of hospitals in the area? And in the city that we bought in, it was about 5 or 6 hospitals within 10 miles of the property. Mm-hmm. And in addition to that, we looked at what other attractions are there, what's the draw. This particular property have a casino close by.
It's close, within 5 or 6 miles of like 3 colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were like, we got colleges nearby, we have a casino nearby, and I think it's like 8 hospitals actually. I think it's a few more. And we were like, this would be a perfect situation. The need would be there for sure.
Yes. Yeah. And we're finding that it is. Yeah. I mean, we have a nurse in there now, and we're constantly getting inquiries. And one thing we decided to do when we don't have a nurse occupying the unit, what are we going to do in between those gaps? And that's where the other platforms come into play. And we're on can I say the names or just say
Yeah,
platform?
absolutely.
So
We want to know.
we're on Airbnb, we're on Booking.com, we're on Vrbo, and is that all of them? Probably some more, but those are the ones where we've received hits from, and we were able to book some folks from that.
Furnish Finder as well.
Furnish Finder, that's that's a huge one.
Yes, Furnish Finder as well.
So we were able to get some bookings immediately from that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome. So, like in your opinion, like what are some of the pros and cons to doing the short-term rentals versus having a long-term tenant?
So here's how kind of the reason why we pivoted, because of course we had our 3 properties in California, and we were finding that we were always had tenants in those in our properties are as traditional rentals. I would, traditional rentals first. And we were not really, we were, breaking even, maybe, our homes were being paid for, the mortgages, fine. But we were, we weren't seeing a lot of extra income there. The bills were being paid. We were able to do all our maintenance, but we weren't, making a lot. And maybe that was just a California thing. But then we were like, hey, we got to do something different. And so then that's when we made the leap into the long-term rentals.
We call them, they're midterms now.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I would say we were definitely making, the tenants in California were definitely paying the mortgage plus more. But we had a bottom line. We know the future we want. We know when we want to retire. And so as the home values went up, that means property taxes went up. So now that's tapping into our bottom line. So now I got to the part, the math ain't mathing the way we wanted to math.
Right.
And we're still doing well. Each property is easily we're netting $1,500 on each property in California, right? So that is one of the reasons we decided we bought the house cash. That's all net. And the property tax is substantially low there.
Yes.
So that's not tapping into our bottom line. And so, and I hope I haven't forgot your question.
No.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
Found that when we decided to go out of state, and we found that this was going to give us an opportunity to double or even triple that income.
Yes.
And so we were able to make that money work for us a lot better.
And we're seeing that, like seriously, in the city that we're in Alabama. Okay, I'm just going to say the mortgage is not even $800 because we ended up buying it when the interest rate started going up a little bit. And I think it was probably a 6% interest rate, right? Okay. So we're paying $800, well, less than $800. What we're making on that, we're renting that unit out. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We're renting that out for $2,200. Okay?
Yeah.
If you do the numbers there, you're not getting that in your traditional long-term rentals in that particular area, right? So we knew because of the proximity of all the attractions there, the hospitals, that let's go ahead and leap and try this, but we went into knowing if it doesn't work out the way we want, we can lease. We're prepared to put that on Section 8 there, right? To get more than the mortgage. And that's how we decided to do it. And we're seeing what the results are right now. We started that in August. It's been booked ever since.
Wow. That's wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. And part of some of the pros and cons, back to Shira's question, the pros and cons is one, obviously the potential for the cash flow, right? The cons, what I found is if you do not have a team set up, we have someone there who backs us up, right? We pay for that. We figured out what that would look like. In addition, we hired a cleaner who's on our team now. And so we have someone to go in there and clean. And then we were blessed again at one of our long-term property there. We had to replace a dishwasher. And we bought it from Costco. And typically what I'm used to here in California, when they deliver something, they're installing, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, it was a little different there. We order and then they had to coordinate to have someone come and install it.
Subcontract.
Mhm. So that guy was doing well. He did a very good job. So we were like, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you like to be on our team? We have more than one property. And he was like, sure. And that's working out. And I'm like, you know what a blessing. If he's contracted with Costco, he must be doing something right.
Right.
Yes.
So
And we've used that a couple times.
yes.
You know, when we have someone go to a property that's been sent by another person, like a subcontractor, we kind of get their phone number.
Mhm.
We keep it in our phone,
For future
and
use.
let's call them and say, hey, do you guys do this? Can you guys work straight through us?
Right.
And you know, it's worked out plenty of times.
Yeah.
So it's that's been a good model.
Yes. Yes. So the biggest con is building up that team in the area that you're not familiar with. For us, it's working out better than expected. It's not taking us as long to do it, but that can be a con there. But you know, when you talk to people, you just give them referrals, right? And it's turning out well for us. I think that's the biggest con. Everything else has been a plus.
Yeah, I mean, there has been nothing major. I mean, we've had just little small things, trying to find the stores to go to because it was a new area for us. But again, that's just part of the learning.
Right.
So you find out what stores, what things we can order from there, how we're going to get it delivered there and have someone pick it up because we're not there.
Yes.
So different little things, but it hasn't been too bad. And it's been a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Man, that's wonderful.
What I would advise someone who's stepping into that space is out of state. The first thing first. So lesson learned was get security, right? Internet first. We ended up getting the internet first, and then we got security. And so we have cameras on every entrance of the property, and you know we're controlling the access to the unit by our phones or tablets, etc. But it gives you a sense of peace for me to see exactly what's going on, and even considering what if the unit is vacant for 2 weeks or 30 days. We believe that's not going to happen.
Right.
But what's going on? Because people pay attention to what's going on in communities. So investing in a good security company, it gives me that peace of mind. And at the end of the day, you build that into what your bottom line number is.
Yeah.
So yeah. But other than that, it's been good.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great. I mean, you guys. You all are dropping some gems.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of stuff that people don't think about, you know,
Right.
As far as being in a good location, you know, and knowing your surroundings. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And that's going so well. So we have we've changed our model even here.
Yeah.
In California.
Ooh, tell us more.
Yeah. So in California, we decided we had a unit that someone left. We ended up renovating that, and our painter that we've been using for quite some time said, hey, you know, is this unit already rented? I'm like, no, but I know it's going to go fast. And so now that's corporate leasing now, because she has painters that she hire all over, and now she's renting that from us.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we have our other property here, great tenants you would not want to lose.
Yeah.
But we decided, you know what? We're near hospitals here. We're near the community that we live in. We're near the airport. We're near the riverfront. We're near so many things. Let's do that here.
Yeah.
And so because their lease was ending, we were like, okay, do we want to do this now? Do we want to wait? And we decided to do it now. So we're transitioning that in April to a midterm rental. We're going to focus on travel nurses. We're going to focus on the state of California community and everything in between.
Yeah.
We're just leaping. We're just moving from the long-term model to short-term and mid-term model.
Right.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And that's great because, like you said, it's very similar to our portfolios. Like, it's able to cash flow and it's paying the mortgages and doing what it needs to do.
Right.
But like we often lament, like, if there's a service call on this property for this month, that it could eat your cash flow for that month. And you're like, dang, well, that month I just broke even. Or you know, what we're seeing, what we're seeing is like a lot of because of the heat waves, these air conditioners are just getting used, and we're having to get service calls. And we actually replaced one this year.
Yes.
And so we're just like, we need.
But you know what? You don't have to replace it again. We've been through that as well. Yeah. And we replaced a roof last year at a property here. We replaced the HVAC. It's those things that happen, but it's not going to happen again for 10 plus years. Yeah. Right. And being in this for 20 plus years, we stopped using our personal finances for that. And we use business credit, right? And we're going to charge it. And the way our properties are marketed and priced, they're going to pay for that. Mm-hmm. Right. And now every month, you know, it's not showing our utilization on our personal credit has not increased, but we're doing it on for those bigger items on the business credit, and then monies from the rent is paying off that debt.
Yeah. So that's great strategy. Mm-hmm. Great strategy.
That goes into one of our other questions, and you have already mentioned several along the way, but what tools or resources do you feel have just contributed to your success and growth?
What tools or resources?
Like maybe different apps to manage properties, or, you know, I don't know, anything.
Yeah, we're still using Avail. I like that a lot. And we use that with Easy Landlords as well. What I like about Avail is we're able to do a market analysis from whatever zip code the property is in. And we have a baseline on what the market rents is. But because we believe we're great landlords and we offer great properties, we typically go above that, right? And so we found Avail to be one of the main ones that we use. They also have a maintenance feature in there. So we're getting communications through that platform. Easy Landlords, I find, is very good when it comes to various forms that are needed. They keep you abreast of regulations by your state, and I really like that. So those have been really good. In the space that we're entering now for midterm, Furnish Finder, there's a lot of sites that are good for marketing and pricing. Like we use PriceLab. And that's really good because depending on what the season is in your particular area, it's those rates can change, and we're not having to go in there and do that. Our goal is to automate a lot of things, and we're hands off. So those are some of the ones that we've been using that have been tried and true for us. And Avail and Easy Landlords, we've been using for like 20 plus years.
Wow. Wow.
And it works. So is that everything? Pretty much
for now.
For now.
I'm sure something will hit me.
And then even with when it comes to like resources, when it comes to landlord and tenant laws in your respective states, another resource is really going to those states and downloading those PDF and really becoming abreast with them. That has been really good. So much so it helped us. We've had someone here and we had to get them out, but us really being abreast on the laws in California, we were able to be successful with doing the unlawful detainers and getting them out on our own because we armed ourselves with knowledge.
For sure.
So that's another resource. I tell folks, read those laws for your state.
Yeah.
They're invaluable.
Yeah. Wow. That's so true. So true. That's great. And what I really like is when I follow you all on Instagram with the midterm rentals, the furnishings. Can you talk about having to furnish a home, what that looks like? Do you enjoy that part? You know what I mean? Tell us a little bit about that.
I love it.
Well, so when we transitioned, with the Alabama properties, we had family in Georgia, which is next state over. We have family in Louisiana, and they were like, "You guys are going to Alabama?" And they decided to drive up with their pickup, and they're like, "We'll help you guys go to Home Depot and Lowe's and all that."
Oh,
So
yeah.
we made it just like
Yeah.
a fun event.
Yeah.
And we Wayfair Professional.
Yes.
Yes.
We use, because they have regular Wayfair, and then if you have your EIN number, your business, Wayfair Professional, the prices were way better on Wayfair Professional, and we ordered items and had them delivered to the house. So we had some items that were already there because we had someone there who could get them, retrieve them, and put them inside the home.
Some of the smaller
Once we
items,
got there, like I said, we took those 3 days. And we were
made it
just
happen.
building and decorating.
Oh yeah.
And getting ideas. And we had so many eyes on it. They were like, well, we can go to the Dollar Tree and get this, or we can go here and get that. And we made it a fun project.
Yeah. So also some of the places we use, some folks was telling us, well, we did seek some information, some tips from others. And I try to think about what type of space do I want to stay in for a short term. And folks are like, oh, go to Facebook Marketplace. Oh, go here and get that. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm such an advocate, invest in your investment, right? And if we really want to be able to market this with top dollars, you have to find a balance between high and low.
Absolutely.
And I love Costco. I need to really, they need to pay me. I'm into them.
Right.
But so Costco, what I did, I ended up ordering the couch from them. All of our beds and mattresses were from Wayfair. We went to local stores to get some of the kitchen items and things like that. Walmart was our friend. And of course, your Amazon. And if you're doing it out of state, you just have to really time it to if you're going to be there and do it, or you're going to have someone else do it. I'm more hands-on, so I don't know. But I timed it where we got there and furnishings was being delivered the same day we got there. And we had our team of family, they're building, putting up curtains and things like that while I go to the Home Goods and kind of put some of those final touches on it. But we just basically went to places that we knew that had quality furniture that we've used for our own home. But we were very economical about it.
Right,
We were getting something, we need something that is going to last, something that's not going to show stains. And we're thinking about all those type of things to go into it. And it ended up working out for us.
Wow. This is great.
Yes.
Great information. And I'm just excited for, what you guys are doing and what you're excited to hear what you're going to be doing. So I guess we're curious, what is next for you all? What does the future hold for you both?
Well, I would just say we're preparing for our next move. We're always thinking in that term because originally we're like, okay, we got 1, 2, 3 properties, and then my wife had this thing where she was like, oh, I want a house for every kid we have.
Oh yeah.
So then we got the 4, and then then.
Now the grandkids are coming.
So now we got 1 grandkid, another on the way, and her eyes are getting bigger. I think it's time. We better find another place, So we just set small goals, and we just keep
absolutely
reaching higher and higher. And we don't know what God holds for us next, but it's about being prepared for that next move.
Yes.
Yeah.
And part of it really, we want a multiplex. We really do. So at least 4 units. At least 4.
We have been talking about getting a multiplex. So.
We do want that, and really becoming experts in the midterm space. That's what we're really focused on. We're learning a lot right now with California and the regulations. So what we can do in Alabama without any permits, and we can get on the platform. We quickly found out that's a different scenario. Here in California, you have to have a permit for the short-term rental. Right. But and then there's days, there's a max on the days. So that is why we're really looking at the properties here to really focus on midterms, because there's no regulations on midterm, and just using the short-term model for the times that is vacant. So I'm excited about really building with the model of the midterm and exiting the long-term space. So yeah,
I love this.
Wow.
I love this. And I think that you guys will have a great market, you know, because there's a lot of people who want to know how to get into that. And so I'm definitely looking forward to not only you all doing it and living it out, but even, you know, speaking and teaching on it. Cause I think it's
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of
yes,
people that can learn from you all.
yes, and that's what we have been talking about
Right.
when we're talking about what's next, is really educating folks, really having a platform to be able
Right.
to do that, and sharing the knowledge that we have acquired over the years to really empower others, that it's really not as difficult that most may think, right? If you really just stay solid with your credit, you just keep everything in order, you can do this as well. And then for us, we're buying whole. We're buying whole, and that's what we're going to emphasize. That's what has been good to us.
Right.
And so it's time to start sharing that. We share that with so many people that's connected to us, but we really want to reach out wider and begin to do that, and make some money off of that too.
Yeah.
Hey.
Absolutely.
You know, pay for this knowledge, but we have been giving it out for free, which is okay, right? Because I believe you're blessed to be a blessing, but it gets to the point where this is a lot of things that we've learned along the way, and it will
Right.
benefit others. And it's really just sharing that knowledge that we've learned. So that's what's really next.
Yeah.
That sounds
love it.
wonderful. I mean, every time that we speak with you both, we leave inspired, we leave
Awesome.
energized,
Yeah.
and we know that our listeners will too. So can you
Great.
share
Yeah.
how folks might be able to follow your story or learn more about you?
They can learn more about us. We have an Instagram, it's DTK Property Solutions. And I'm always trying to put some real stuff on there when it comes to whether it's trying to figure out how to step into this midterm space here in California or what we're doing. We're just really trying to be transparent. So that's where we are right now. And watch out for us, because we're going to be on a YouTube channel as well too, because I've
love
been doing a lot of stuff. I just ain't been putting it out there. So, but it's going to always be you. Anyone can find us as we
Mhm.
scale up. You can find us at DTK Property Solutions on many platforms.
Absolutely. So you guys go out and make sure you follow them on IG. They're a great follow. And
Yes.
we thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you
We're
Thank you for
excited.
having us.
Yes.
Thank you for having
Absolutely.
us, for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, if you enjoyed this, do us a huge favor. Leave us 5 stars on whatever platform you're listening to this on. And we're going to talk to you guys on the next one. This is Marcus. I'm here with my lovely wife.
Shira.
And we're going to holler at y'all later.
Bye,
Peace.
y'all.
Bye.
Peace.